Okay, I'll begin. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om God Punam Paripa Charja Ashto Tatashi Shri Bhakti Vedanta Shamaraj Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Takoti Vaishnava Ki Jai Nam Acharya Shri Das Thakur Ki Jai Ram Kaho Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayādvaita Dharshi Asari Gaur Bhakti Ki Jai Sri Siddhartha Nagol Gopi Amakund Radha Kundi Vidhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Ki Jai Navadvip Ki Jai Jagan Puri Ki Jai Gamai Ki Jai Jamai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samasta Bhakti Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Welcome everybody to Caitanya Charitamrita reading with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Thursday, February 12th, 2026. We are beginning with Caitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 1, Text 42. Gurmaraj, do you want to begin? Or should I? Gurmaraj, you're muted.
The first question is whether my audio is all broken up. Is it coming across okay, or is it?
It's a little broken. I could hear everything you just said, but it's slightly broken.
But tell me again.
It's slightly broken, but seems, Praveen Prabhu says cutting. So yeah, it's not so great audio.
Why don't you begin? I'll log off and log on again, see if that fixes things.
What should I do?
You begin.
Okay.
And I'll log off and log on again.
Okay. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, beginning with Vijani Charitamrita, Madhya, Chapter 1, Text 42. Anra Bratus Putra Nama Sri Jivagosani Ata Bhakti Grantha Kaila Tara Anta Nai. Translation: Sri Rupa Goswami's nephew, Srila Jiva Goswami, has compiled so many books on devotional service that there is no counting them. Any comments here? Okay. I will read the next text, 43. Sri Bhagavat Sandarbha Nama Grantha Vistara Bhakti Siddhantara Tate Dekaya Chena Para. In Sri Bhagavat Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami has written conclusively about the ultimate end of devotional service. The Bhagavat Sandarbha is also known as the Sat Sandarbha. In the first part, called Tattva Sandarbha, it is proved that Srimad Bhagavatam is the most authoritative evidence directly pointing to the absolute truth. The second Sandarbha, called Bhagavat Sandarbha, draws a distinction between impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma and describes the spiritual world and the domination of the mode of goodness devoid of contamination by the other two material modes. In other words, there is a vivid description of the transcendental position known as Suddha Sattva. Material goodness is apt to be contaminated by the other two material qualities, ignorance and passion. But when one is situated in the Suddha Sattva position, there is no chance for such contamination. It is a spiritual platform of pure goodness. The potency of the Supreme Lord and the living entity is also described, and there is a description of the inconceivable energies and varieties of energies of the Lord. The potencies are divided into categories: internal, external, personal, marginal, and so forth. There are also discussions of the eternality of deity worship, the omnipotence of the deity, his all-pervasiveness, his giving shelter to everyone, his subtle and gross potencies, his personal manifestations, his expressions of form, quality, and pastimes, his transcendental position, and his complete form. It is also stated that everything pertaining to the Absolute has the same potency, and that the spiritual world, the associates in the spiritual world, and the threefold energies of the Lord in the spiritual world are all transcendental. This is Madhya 143, first paragraph. There are further discussions concerning the difference between the impersonal Brahman and the personality of Godhead, the fullness of the personality of Godhead, the objective of all Vedic knowledge, the personal potencies of the Lord, and the personality of Godhead as the original author of Vedic knowledge. That was the first paragraph of 143. Does anybody have any comments there?
No, we can carry on.
The third Sandarbha is called Paramatma Sandarbha. And in this book, there is a description of Paramatma, the Supersoul, and an explanation of how the Supersoul exists in millions and millions of living entities. There are discussions of the differences between the qualitative incarnations and discourses concerning the living entities, Maya, the material world, the theory of transformation, the illusory energy, the sameness of this world and the supersoul, and the truth about this material world. In this connection, the opinions of Sridhar Swami are given. It is stated that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although devoid of material qualities, superintends all material activities. There is also a discussion of how the Leela Avatar incarnations respond to the desires of the devotees and how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is characterized by 6 opulences. Any comments there?
You can continue.
The fourth Sandarbha is called Krishna Sandarbha. And in this book, Krishna is proved to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are discussions of Krishna's pastimes and qualities, his superintendence of the Purusha avatars, and so forth. The opinions of Sridhar Swami are corroborated. In each and every scripture, the supremacy of Krishna is stressed. Baladev, Shankarshan, and other expansions of Krishna are emanations of Maha Sankarshan. All the incarnations and expansions exist simultaneously in the body of Krishna, who is described as two-handed. There are also descriptions of the Goloka planet, Vrindavan, the eternal place of Krishna, the identity of Goloka and Vrindavan, the Yadavas and the cowherd boys, both eternal associates of Krishna, the equality of the manifest and unmanifest pastimes, Sri Krishna's manifestation in Gokula, the queens of Dvarka as expansions of the internal potency, and superior to them, the super excellent gopis. There is also a list of the gopis' names and a discussion of the topmost position of Srimati Radharani.
Yes.
Continue, okay.
Please.
The fifth Sandarbha is called Bhakti Sandarbha. And in this book, there is a discussion of how devotional service can be directly executed and how such service can be adjusted either directly or indirectly. There is a discussion of the knowledge of all kinds of scripture, the establishment of the Vedic institution of Varnashrama, bhakti as superior to fruitive activity, and so forth. It is also stated that without devotional service, even a brahmana is condemned. There are discussions of the process of karma tyag, the giving of the results of karma to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the practices of mystic yoga and philosophical speculation, which are deprecated as simply hard labor. Worship of the demigods is discouraged, and worship of a Vaishnava is considered exalted. No respect is given to the non-devotees. There are discussions of how one can be liberated even in this life, Jivan Mukta, Lord Shiva as a devotee, and how a bhakta and his devotional service are eternally existing. It is stated that through bhakti one can attain all success because bhakti is transcendental to the material qualities. There is a discussion of how the self is manifest through bhakti. There is also a discussion of the self's bliss, as well as how bhakti, even imperfectly executed, enables one to attain the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unmotivated devotional service is highly praised, and an explanation is given of how each devotee can achieve the platform of unmotivated service by association with other devotees. There is a discussion of the differences between the Mahabhagavat and the ordinary devotee, the symptoms of philosophical speculation, the symptoms of self-worship or ahangrahopasana, the symptoms of devotional service, the symptoms of imaginary perfection, the acceptance of regulative principles, service to the spiritual master, the Mahabhagavat, liberated devotee, and service to him, service to Vaishnavas in general, the principles of hearing, chanting, remembering, and serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offenses in worship, offensive effects, prayers, engaging oneself as an eternal servant of the Lord, making friendships with the Lord, and surrendering everything for his pleasure. There is also a discussion of Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous love of Godhead, of the specific purpose of becoming a devotee of Lord Krishna, and a comparative study of other perfectional stages. We have a question. Praveen Prabhu. No respect is given to the non-devotees. Is Prabhupada literally meaning it?
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Mugavani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paspachadesha Tatale. Yes, he means it, but what does he mean? I don't think it means that a devotee is rude to non-devotees. Prabhupada said a devotee is a perfect gentleman. But it means we don't give importance to their philosophy, their views regarding the absolute truth, or their methods for attaining the absolute truth. we consider them unfortunate. About to go. And we avoid the association of non-devotees, except for preaching. So, in this way. Not that, oh, they have such wonderful things, such grand programs for human upliftment and this and that and the other thing, education and commerce. No, we don't give it much importance. This is not the real purpose of life. Hare Krishna.
I have a question.
Yes.
What do we mean by, what is meant by even imperfectly executed enables one to attain the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Yes, devotional service is so strong. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato hayat. Even the slight execution of devotional service will lead to, can save one from the greatest danger. And Krishna can take up the slack. Even if the devotional service is less than perfect, Krishna can say, all right, good enough. I'll take it. Is that all right?
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Saraswati Mataji.
Pranams Param Pujya Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Maharaj, I was reading in the Vraj Mahima, and Uddhava gave this instruction to Parikshit Maharaj in terms of how we interact with others. He said, my son, reveal your heart to benefactors, but keep your devotion far from non-believers. This was the practice of our Lord, who always hid behind his Maya. What does this mean, hid behind his Maya?
Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita mudho yam nabhijanati mamebhya paramabhya. The Lord is hidden. Satyasya bhitam mukham hiranmayena patrain. He doesn't reveal himself to the non-devotees. For them, he remains hidden by the covering of Yoga Maya or by the glaring effulgence of the Brahmajyoti. So it is not accessible to them. For them, he remains hidden. Is that right?
Yes, thank you so much.
Shall we finish the report?
Yeah. Yes. The sixth Sandarbha is called Priti Sandarbha, a thesis on love of Godhead. Here it is stated that through love of Godhead, one becomes perfectly liberated and attains the highest goal of life. A distinction is made between the liberated condition of a personalist and that of an impersonalist, and there is a discussion of liberation during one's lifetime as distinguished from liberation from material bondage. Of all kinds of liberation, liberation in loving service to the Lord is described as the most exalted, and meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face is shown to be the highest perfection of life. Immediate liberation is contrasted with liberation by a gradual process. Both realization of Brahman and meeting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead are described as liberation within one's lifetime. But meeting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, both internally and externally, is shown to be super excellent above the transcendental realization of the Brahman effulgence. There is a comparative study of liberation as Salokya, Samipya, and Sarupya. Samipya is better than Salokya. Devotional service is considered to be liberation with greater facilities, and there is a discussion of how to obtain it. There are also discussions of the transcendental state one achieves after attaining the devotional platform, which is the exact position of love of Godhead, the marginal symptoms of transcendental love, and how it is awakened, the distinction between so-called love and transcendental love on the platform of love of Godhead, and different types of humors and mellows enjoyed in relishing the lusty affairs of the gopis, which are different from mundane affairs, which in turn are symbolical representations of pure love for Krishna. There are also discussions of bhakti mixed with philosophical speculation, the super excellence of the love of the gopis, the difference between opulent devotional service and loving devotional service, the exalted position of the residents of Gokula, the progressively exalted position of the friends of Krishna, the Gopas and the Gopis in parental love with Krishna, and finally the super excellence of the love of the Gopis and that of Srimati Radharani. There is also a discussion of how spiritual feelings can be present when one simply imitates them, and of how such mellows are far superior to the ordinary mellows of mundane love. And there are descriptions of different ecstasies, the awakening of ecstasy, transcendental qualities, the distinction of Dhirodatta, the utmost attractiveness of conjugal love, the ecstatic features, the permanent ecstatic features, the mellows divided in 5 transcendental features of direct loving service and indirect loving service, considered in 7 divisions. Finally, there is a discussion of overlapping of different rasas, and there are discussions of Shanta, neutrality, servitorship, taking shelter, parental love, conjugal love, direct transcendental enjoyment, and enjoyment in separation, previous attraction, and the glories of Srimati Radharani.
So there's quite a lot of territory in this discussion. This is the briefest overview of contents of the Satsandarbha. Jiva Goswami was the nephew of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and among the Goswamis, he's recognized as the most learned scholar. But said that there's no comparison to Jiva Goswami in terms of philosophers. And as you can see, these Satsandarbhas, 6 treatises, are extensive in the topics they cover. The first of the Sandarbhas has been published by the BBT, translated by Gopi Pranadhan Prabhu. I think the others may be available, translated perhaps by Hanuman or others, but a full treatment of the Sandarbhas would be a great project. Hare Krishna.
Your Maharaj, I'd like to ask about the purport. It says, there is also a discussion of how spiritual feelings can be present when one simply imitates them, and of how such mellows are far superior to the ordinary mellows of mundane love. It confuses me because of usually we hear imitation as a reference to the practice sahajas, but then it says such mellows are far superior.
Yeah. It doesn't seem particularly intended for the sahajas here, but we read in the Nectar of Devotion that if a non-devotee associates with devotees when the devotees are having kirtan or a drama or some devotional activity, then even the non-devotee can be affected. Even he can feel some temporary experience of ecstasy. And he may also imitate, just like there's kirtan. So the devotees are dancing in ecstasy out of realization of how wonderful Krishna is. And some non-devotee comes and he doesn't realize how great Krishna is. He doesn't, but he just imitates. He just imitates. All right, let me get into this. And then, all right, he's only imitating, but that imitation becomes the opening for him for further progress. Just like we see a child imitating the parents. So he may not be really qualified for what the parents are doing, and he may not understand, he's just imitating. But imitation of a good thing is appreciated as long as one doesn't become pretentious. The newcomers imitate the activities of the advanced devotees, and that's very good. But if the newcomer thinks, now I'm also advanced, I've been here for 3 months and I've got it, or whatever. If he thinks that now I'm perfected without actually having the qualifications, then that pretentiousness becomes his disqualification. The sahajas imagine that they're on the topmost platform, that they're the most highly realized souls, that they're that they don't need the regulative principles or the directions given by the Goswamis and other acharyas. They're just cruising. So that kind of pretentiousness becomes an impediment for them and for others. But in one place, and I think it's only one place in Caitanya Caritamrita, Prabhupada appreciates or gives them credit that because they're chanting the holy name of Krishna, they're in a far better position than the Mayavadis, and they'll eventually attain Krishna consciousness as it is. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you very much. Gokula, Mataji.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Hare Krishna, devotees. Maharaj, in terms, in a situation where a devotee or one has been a devotee for many years, 10 years, they're advancing, they're doing all these things, but they're not taking a guru. They're not getting initiated simply because they feel that they don't need a guru. You know, they're fine. I'm doing the Hare Krishna thing. I'm advancing, I'm reading, I'm doing service. I don't need a guru. I don't need a guru. So if someone is like that, is it pretentious?
It's at least a misunderstanding. And yes, I think one could call it pretentious also. I'm reading the books. Well, what are you reading? The books say that without the connection with the bona fide spiritual master, the relationship with Krishna isn't really established. The books say that even Krishna accepted a guru just to set the example. So if they're going on and not accepting a guru because they haven't found someone or in whom they have confidence, or there's some other reason, that's different. But if he thinks that the guru is simply not, then that's a misunderstanding. Is that okay?
Okay. Yes, thank you, Maharaj.
Saraswati has a hand.
Guru Maharaj, they talked about the 4 kinds of liberation that, a Vaishnava may accept. And sorry if I don't always, if this sort of is not directly connected with the question, but sometimes I read something and then I forget to make notes to ask you later on. But once again, I'm reading about Uddhava, and it was very clear that he looked very much like Krishna, that he had Sarupya Siddhi. He looked so much like Krishna, but when he went before Krishna's leaving this planet, and he gives instructions to Uddhava to go to Badrikesh ashram, he tells him that he has, rid yourself of sinful reaction, dress in the bark of trees, eat what is available, associate with the saints there, meditate on me constantly, and in this way you will surely cross beyond the 3 modes of nature and finally come back to me. But Uddhava, and he's already eternally liberated soul, so he's already beyond the 3 modes of nature. So are these instructions given so that common men may follow?
Yes. Just like Arjuna, he's instructed in Bhagavad Gita, but he's already a perfect eternal associate of Krishna. But the instruction is given like that. Kapil Dev is instructing his mother. His mother is eternally liberated. But in this way, instruction is given.
So even like when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji gives instructions to Sanatana Goswami, who presents himself as a conditioned soul, we know that's not true. Sanatana Goswami is eternally liberated associate of the Lord. So he presents himself like he's a conditioned soul, but Sanatana Goswami never was and never is.
Yeah. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't say, oh, you're a conditioned soul. But he gives instructions for the benefit of all. And also for Sanatana Goswami, that this is what I want you to do. Do this, do this, do this. Is that all right?
Yes, thank you so much.
Let's see, so I guess I'm supposed to read. Gopal Champu Name Granto Mahashuda Nikili Lastapan Nahi Brajavashapura. The famous and formidable transcendental literature is the book named Gopal Champu. In this book, the eternal pastimes of the Lord are established. Soul mellows enjoyed in Vrindavan are completely described. Someone like to read?
Saraswati Master, are you available?
Purple. In his Anubhashya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following information about the Gopal Champu. The Gopal Champu is divided into two parts. The first part is called the Eastern Wave, and the second part is called the Northern Wave. In the first part, there are 33 supplications, and in the second part, 37 supplications. In the first part, completed in 1510 Sakabda AD 1588, the following subject matters are discussed. Number 1, Vrindavan and Goloka. Number 2, the killing of the Putana demon, the gopis returning home under the instructions of Mother Yashoda, the bathing of Lord Krishna and Balram, Snigdha Kantha and Madhu Kantha. Number 3, the dream of Mother Yashoda. 4, the Janmashtami ceremony. 5, the meeting between Nanda Maharaja and Vasudev and the killing of the Putana demon. 6, the pastimes of awakening from bed, the deliverance of the demon Shakta and the name-giving ceremony. 7, the killing of the Tranavarta demon, Lord Krishna's eating dirt, Lord Krishna's childish naughtiness, and Lord Krishna as a thief. Number 8, churning of the yogurt, Krishna's drinking from the breast of Mother Yashoda, the breaking of the yogurt pot, Krishna bound with ropes, the deliverance of the two brothers, Yamla-Arjuna, and the lamentation of Mother Yashoda. 9, entering Sri Vrindavan. 10, the killing of Vattasura, Bakasura, Vyamasura. 11, the killing of Agasura and the bewilderment of Lord Brahma. 12, the tending of the cows in the forest. 13, taking care of the cows and chastising the Kaliya serpent. 14, the killing of Garbha Dasura, the ass demon, and the praise of Krishna. 15, the previous attraction of the gopis. 16, the killing of Pralambasura and the eating of the forest fire. 17, the gopis' attempt to approach Krishna. 18, the lifting of Govardhan hill. 19, bathing Krishna with milk. 20, the return of Nanda Maharaj from the custody of Varuna and the vision of Goloka Vrindavan by the gopis. 21, the performance of the rituals in the Katyani Vrat and the worship of the goddess Durga. 22, the begging of food from the wives of the Brahmanas performing sacrifices. 23, the meeting of Krishna and the gopis. 24, Krishna's enjoying the company of the gopis, the disappearance of Radha and Krishna from the scene, and the search for them by the gopis. 25, the reappearance of Krishna. 26, the determination of the gopis. 27, pastimes in the water of the Yamuna. 28, the deliverance of Nanda Maharaj from the clutches of the serpent. 29, various pastimes in solitary places. 30, the killing of Sankachuda and the Hori. 31, the killing of Aristasura. 32, the killing of the Keshi demon. 33, the appearance of Sri Narada Muni and a description of the year in which the book was completed. In the second part, known as Uttara Champu, the following subject matters are discussed. Number 1, attraction for Vrajbhumi. Number 2, the cruel activities of Akrura. Number 3, Krishna's departure for Mathura. Number 4, a description of the city of Mathura. Number 5, the killing of Kamsa. Number 6, Nanda Maharaj's separation from Krishna and Balram. Number 7, Nanda Maharaj's entrance into Vrindavan without Krishna and Balram. Number 8, the studies of Krishna and Balram. Number 9, how the son of the teacher of Krishna and Balram was returned. Number 10, Uddhava's visit to Vrindavan. Number 11, Radharani's talking with the messenger Bumblebee. Number 12, the return of Uddhava from Vrindavan. Number 13, the binding of Jarasandh. Number 14, the killing of the Yavana Jarasandh. Number 15, the marriage of Balram. Number 16, the marriage of Rukmani. Number 17, 7 marriages. Number 18, the killing of Narakasura, the taking of the Parijat flower from heaven, and Krishna's marriage to 16,000 princesses. Number 19, victory over Banasura. Number 20, a description of Balram's return to Vraj. Number 21, the killing of Pondrika, the imitation of Vishnu. Number 22, the killing of Dvivida and thoughts of Hastinapur. Number 23, departure for Kurukshetra. Number 24, how the residents of Vrindavan and Dwarka meet at Kurukshetra. Number 25, Krishna's consultation with Uddhava. Number 26, the deliverance of the king. Number 27, the performance of the Rajasuya sacrifice. Number 28, the killing of Salva. Number 29, Krishna's considering returning to Vrindavan. 30, Krishna's revisiting Vrindavan. 31, the adjustment of obstructions by Srimati Radharani and others. 32, everything completed. 33, the residence of Radha and Madhava. 34, decorating Srimati Radharani and Krishna. 35, the marriage ceremony of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. 36, the meeting of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. 37, entering Goloka. Hare Krishna.
Famous and formidable. A champu is a kind of composition in which there's both poetry and prose. That, as far as I understand, that's the distinguishing characteristic of a champu. And here we see the subject matter follows the descriptions of 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Anything else?
Nothing in the chat.
E mata nana granto Korea Prakash Goshti Shohite Koila Vrindavane Vash. Thus, Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and their nephew, Srila Jiva Goswami, as well as practically all of their family members, lived in Vrindavan and published important books on devotional service. The Goshti, family members, doesn't appear to mean they're members of their biological families. I haven't seen any reference to their being followed to Vrindavan by their biological family members. So it would mean their spiritual family members. Srila Prabhupada once, in a lecture in 1968 in New York, quoted Saputraya Sakalatraya from Chaitanya Bhagavat. I worship Lord Chaitanya along with his sons, Saputraya. So then Prabhupada said, what does it mean? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he married twice, had no sons. So then Prabhupada said, sons means his devotees. Hare Krishna. The Grantha Korea Prakash. This is important. E Mata Nana Grantha Korea Prakash. They published many granthas, books. And Srila Prabhupada said this he learned from his Guru Maharaj. He said, everything else I learned from my father, but this I learned from my Guru Maharaj to publish books. So the followers of Srila Prabhupada also are publishing books. Satsrup Maharaj has published 200 books, and other devotees have published books in smaller numbers. So this is one of the contributions expected. Prabhupada said the first business of a sannyasi is to write some transcendental literature for the benefit of others. So, and Korea Prakash published literature. Not that everything stops with the founder Acharya, and then after that, well, those books, no, it carries on. Prabhupada criticized one time, he saw a book table someplace at Mongolia Mutt, and it was all books from the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So Prabhupada criticized them. This is all they do. They just republish. They're not making a new contribution. So Prabhupada continued to write books. He could have said, well, my Guru Maharaj has written everything. But he contributed books and encouraged his followers to contribute books. Even during Prabhupada's lifetime, the BBT published at least 2 books by Prabhupada's disciples. One was Readings in Vedic Literature by Satsrup Maharaj, and another was Krishna, the Supreme Scientist by Swarup Damodar Maharaj. So in this way, Prabhupada indicated that the business of publishing new books should go on. Hare Krishna. But yes.
Would you like to read, or should we?
Yeah. Pratama Vatshare Advaitari Bhaktagon Prabhure Dekite Koilo Niladri Gomon. The first year after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order of life, all the devotees, headed by Sri Advaita Prabhu, went to see the Lord at Jagannath Puri. Rata Yatra Deki Taha Rohila Charimash Prabhu Shange Nritya Gita Parama Ulash. After attending the Rata Yatra ceremony at Jagannath Puri, all the devotees remained there for 4 months, greatly enjoying the company of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by performing kirtan, chanting, and dancing. Vidais Nomai Shamoy Prabhu Kohila Shobhare Vachobda Ashibe Shobe Kundicha Dekibare. At the time of departure, the Lord requested all the devotees, please come here every year to see the Ratha Yatra festival of Lord Jagannath's journey to the Gundicha temple. Purport, there's a temple named Gundicha at Sundarachala. Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra are pushed in their 3 cars from the temple in Puri to the Gundicha temple in Sundarachala. In Orissa, this Ratha Yatra festival is known as Jagannath's journey to Gundicha, whereas others speak of it as the Ratha Yatra festival. The residents of Odisha refer to it as Gundicha Yatra. So this sets the pattern of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes at Puri. By his order, every year. Of course, it's not mentioned that the Lord ordered them to come to Puri the first time, but they came and the Lord ordered them every year to do this. And they stayed for 4 months. They just put everything else on hold and stayed with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 4 months continuously during the rainy season. So the Lord said, do this every year. And that became the pattern of the Lord's pastimes with his beloved devotees. Anything else?
Nothing in the chat.
Shall we have kirtan?
Yes. Venkatesh Prabhu. are you available for kirtan?
Sorry, don't understand.
Richburna Madhavi Mashi, are you available?
Yes, Prabhuji. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Puramanupadi Prajakacharya Ashtotra Satisri Shrimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Shamana Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
Holiness Jayādvaita Swami Aki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari.
Haribo.
Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.